Mr. Januso? Here. Mrs. Rogers?
Here.
Mrs. Barnes?
Here via phone.
Mrs. Barney?
Here.
And Mr. Hurd.
Here.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the February 15th meetings.
I move to approve the February meeting minutes.
Seconded.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Januso?
Aye.
Mrs. Rogers?
Aye.
Mrs. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Barney?
Aye.
And Mr. Roach?
Aye.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt the sewer acceptance resolution for McConnell Trails Phase 2B.
Just a little explanation. They've completed the sanitary sewer construction for Phase 2B, and what we have been doing for about the last year is we've actually been adopting a resolution accepting the sewers. So the recommendation would be to adopt the resolution to accept the sewers for McConnell Trails Phase 2B.
We have a motion for that.
Go ahead.
I move to accept McConnell's McConnell's Trails Phase 2B.
Motion seconded.
Second.
Second.
Yes?
Okay, roll call vote.
Mr. Januso?
Aye.
Mrs. Rogers?
Aye.
Mrs. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Barney?
Aye.
And Mr. Roach?
Aye.
Okay, the auditor proposal discussion. Paul, you want to head that off?
Yes, we did do an advertisement, and we did not get any responses back for the position of auditor. So what we did was we contacted three different three CPAs. We got two proposals back. One was from Cipher & Cipher, who had been a longtime auditor for the authority. The other one was from Mark Turnley. And I provided I sent an email as well as I have a sheet here with their proposal. Cipher & Cipher, as I said, they've been the longtime auditor. Mark has never worked for the authority before. I did do a check with one of the larger authorities that he's done work for, and I guess he's been auditing them for about 20 years, and that was at Rochester, or at Christine, who's the
Ross Straver Township
Ross Straver,
Sewage
yeah,
Authority.
Ross Straver Township, and they spoke very highly of him. The one thing the board may want to consider, because there may have been some questions about the financial records of the authority after the 2020 audit was done, the decision by the board was to have a complete audit done so that it would be impartial as to anybody who may have worked for the authority. So it may be wise to not select Cipher & Cipher only because they've been a long-term auditor for the authority. They probably audited for what, about 15 years? Yes. I would say. So my recommendation would be to hire Mark Turnley as the auditor to do the 2021 audit for the authority.
All motion to,
It's a good recommendation, Walt. Not that this is important, but their price was a little lower.
yeah, $2,500.
And also that gives us that independent
They had
advice
marked
that we
that says they can build.
Yes, somebody that's completely independent, hasn't worked with the authority before.
Mark Turnley. Motion to accept Mark Turnley.
I'll second it.
have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Januso?
Aye.
Mrs. Rogers?
Aye.
Mrs. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Barney?
Aye.
And Mr. Roach?
Aye.
Okay, the engineer's report.
Yes, on the Lawrence project, we did update the schedule that in April we'll go through the financing, and then the project will go out to bid for May, and be looking for a July update. One of the items that has come up in the last week with the bidding, with the war in Ukraine, There's a tremendous amount of problems getting ductile iron and getting prices to be stabilized.
Is Kevin speaking in the microphone?
Sorry about that, Dawn.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, I can hear better when he's speaking in the microphone.
Okay, I'll stop
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, with the war in Ukraine, we were always worried about COVID and where prices were going to go. But the pig iron's a problem in the world as far as getting it. Apparently, it come out of Ukraine. So we got a notice today from the ductile iron suppliers. A project that we had just opened last week, and the bids got rejected because they weren't going to award bids for 30 or 60 days. And the suppliers all increased their prices by 20% because of the timing. So for plant projects, there's two things they're requesting. We don't have to make a decision on this tonight, we just want to think about it. But they would like under 7 days from the time bids are opened till we award them so that they can lock their prices in. So that's something that, in the current job that we have out to bid, we're going to do that. And I'll be able to report next month, because I'll have bids by then, to see if that made a difference. If it did, we'll know that. The second thing is, we'll just have to watch this market as far as where ductile iron goes. Some things in a plant has to be certain types of piping, and there's only a couple suppliers for them. So we'll just have to keep our eye on it, and hopefully that calms down and the supply of those materials can come back. Because what's happened in the United States is they said scrap iron has went to an all-time high, because since they can't get the raw materials out of Ukraine, then in the world they're buying up all the scrap out of the U.S. So cars, all that stuff. So we'll just have to keep our eye on it and watch pricing. On the good news side, you did get notice that you did get a grant, which was a good thing, unanticipated. So it may help offset some additional costs that you may see just strictly because of fuel and the fact that this war is going on right now. So we'll just have to keep our eye on it.
Let me just bring one thing up about that. Dawn, I was told, I think it was last Wednesday, that $1 million grant from Senator Casey was going to be, made it through the House and the Senate. And you sent an email, and I haven't heard anything back from her. Do you know whether or not that's been confirmed, that $1 million grant?
I was told it was confirmed, but
Yeah,
I guess it takes a while for them to get the official paperwork out.
Okay, yeah, she did tell me, she said, this was on Wednesday, and she told me they were supposed to pass the budget on Thursday, and I guess it got signed on Friday. She said it did make it through both the House and the Senate, that $1 million from Casey, and that it would take some time, and she had no idea who was going to be the one that would inform us, formally. And I didn't know how you had heard. I didn't know who you had heard from.
I heard from the supervisors.
From the supervisors?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe they were going on the same word that I had from, 2 days before, but hopefully that's a fact. Hopefully that's a fact that we got a $1 million grant to go towards the construction of the Lawrence project.
The only other update on
It's pretty positive.
Yeah, I think you're right.
the only other update, we're not seeing an increase in pricing, but SDR pipe right now is 14 weeks to 20 weeks out on a project. So a project this big, that's why it's also important, I think, to get the bids in and get the price locked so they can get their order made for SDR, because standard pipe is, we used to get in a week or two. It's now 20 weeks out getting it in, and they keep pushing that out another couple weeks every few weeks. So I think, getting this out earlier in this year is probably a positive thing, at least so we know where we're at. If we have to rebid, so be it, but we can get some pricing locked in. So for next meeting, if everybody could just think about that 1 week award, we can time it to do it, getting the bid tabs out. They happen the same day. This will be an electronic bid opening through Quest, so bid tab comes out same day, and then it'll be available for everybody to review. So, but any questions?
No questions, Dawn?
Okay. I guess we can move on to the next item then?
Next item would be, recommendation to make a motion to approve a payment application number 7 for McConnell Trails Phase 2B. As I said before, the project's been completed, and this would be a payment of retainage to the contractor.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve payment number 7 on McConnell Trails 2B.
Asking for a motion.
Go ahead, do you want to, Darlene?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Who's second?
Aaron?
Mr. Januso?
Aye.
Mrs. Rogers?
Aye.
Mrs. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Barney?
Aye.
And Mr. Roach?
Aye.
Okay, the solicitor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've submitted a written report. The only thing that I would want to highlight is that we had one group, we call it Phase 3. As you recall, we condemned the property for these, and the easements for the sewage treatment plant site. Then we did another group of 20 sewer, about 20-ish sewer easements. And now on Friday, we filed to condemn the last group of easements. I think it was 31 property owners, but 15 parcels or something like that. So that's been filed. The process server will pick those up tomorrow and they'll be served. So hopefully everything will come together nicely. I always like to say 60 to 90 days to make sure that, to guarantee that we have everything locked in that we needed. So hopefully it looks like we're on schedule. So other than that, I don't have anything else unless anyone has any questions.
I think the one word I heard was we're on schedule.
Yeah, I am, yeah. Yeah, with what I wanted to do with the condemnation. So we'll see, hopefully nobody, there's no challenges to it, and we secure everything 30 days after service. The clock for the condemnation starts running from the date of service. So 30 days after someone's served, then we perfect the easement.
Okay, any questions? The business manager's report. Ratify savings and loan CD renewal.
Okay, there was a CD that came up for renewal actually yesterday, which would have been the 14th. So we're recommending ratifying this Living Savings and Loan CD renewal. The interest rate is 1.9%, with a yield of 2%, and there's no penalty for early withdrawal on that.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Januso?
Aye.
Mrs. Rogers?
Aye.
Mrs. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Barney?
Aye.
And Mr. Roach?
Aye.
Okay, the personnel committee update, Roseanne or Aaron, can you bring us any up-to-date on where we stand with that?
I can do that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we have job postings for authority manager, operations manager, and business manager on the Cecil Township website. And we will have, if not already posted on the PMAA site as well. But because of the difficulty in finding qualified candidates for these roles, I've also spoken with an external recruiter. And we're just right now in the discovery stages of that. We've not, of course, not signed any kind of statement of work with them at this time, but it's something that we will move towards if we cannot get qualified candidates. However, I will say that we have received a few resumes on our site and our email address and at the township. So we will be starting interviews shortly for those positions.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, the advertisements, they have already been posted. They're on the municipal. I put them on the municipal authority website. I posted it also with the municipal PMAA. It's already on their site, and then also with the Rural Water Association. So they were all posted those were all completed as of last Friday.
Okay, great. Thanks, Walt.
Okay,
questions, Don.
Okay. Do we have a motion then for payment of expenses and transfer of funds?
I make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Januso,
Aye.
Mrs. Rogers,
Aye.
Mrs. Barnes,
Aye.
Mrs. Barney,
Aye.
and Mr. Roach.
Aye.
Okay, the next item, I understand we don't need that any longer.
That's correct.
Okay. And the next item, we don't need either.
No, he's not. in
That's
attendance.
correct. Yep.
Bulls isn't there.
No.
Are there any comments from the floor?
Yes. Where is that going? Is he still pursuing this? Is this a dead deal or what?
That matter's still in litigation, and there was recently a court conference held, and a mediation has been scheduled for April 6th at 1:30. And that's the case that there is insurance defense counsel assigned. Francis DeSalle is representing the authority's interests in that.
Did you say it's an arbitration? Is that
It's a mediation.
a mediation?
Yeah, it's with attorney Tom Vreeland. He was the one that attempted to resolve it early on in the case. And now plaintiff's counsel indicated that he would be willing to try again. And that's the case that TOA, Traditions of America, is a co-party with us.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Any other questions?
No
If
que-
not, we have a motion for adjournment.
For adjournment?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Call vote. Aye.
Okay, Don, thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Okay.
War makes things tough.
Thanks, Aaron.
Wow, that was a record.